When the man got up and got face to face with Luke, I turned in my seat more fully to get the full effect, tossing a piece of popcorn into my mouth in excitement. Now this was what I was talking about. I was an action kind of girl. I didn't like movies where there was nothing exploding and no shirtless guys. Now, the scene in front of me I knew wasn't going to escalate much past raised voices, but it was better than nothing.
"Listen here, boy. I'll have you know that I paid for my tickets just like the rest of these folks. I want to sit here and enjoy the movie," the man yelled. "You want to enjoy the movie? How about you tell those," he pointed to the kids, "to sit down."
The man's 2 fighting kids slipped in between the seat and Luke's legs. Then Luke lost his patience.
"Sit!"
They followed direction instantly, sitting down and staring at the movie with quivering chins. It was as if that was the first time they'd ever heard a reprimand before, although it probably was. The mother stood in outrage, but Luke's glare had her quickly sitting down, which caused me to snicker, making Luke's eyes turn toward me. His glare showed me he wasn't as amused as I was, but he winked at me, eyes flicking down to Rowan before he turned back to the man in front of him, who was absolutely livid.
"I'm going to call the cops on you," the man snarled.
Luke's lips tilted up into a slow grin.
"Go on. Make my day."
Turns out that the man didn't have to, because in the next moment the show was stopped, the lights turned on, and 2 cops came striding down the theater's main aisle. They were in uniform, just not the standard black uniform with yellow writing that most cops wore. These men wore black cargo-type pants, a black shirt with KPD on it in large yellow letters. Large gun belts were strapped around their waists. They had a walkie-talkie that was strapped onto the belt that had a wire connected to a handheld device that clipped to their shoulders. Their badges, worn around their necks, were big, gold, and shiny. The taller of the 2 was a redhead, big and brawny. I bet he could pull off a kilt very nicely. I could visualize him perfectly playing a bagpipe and his kilt floating up to reveal his nicely muscled ass. He had a beard, as did the other man. Must be a thing, because now that I thought about it, Luke did too. The other man was Mexican-American. He was tall but only about 6 foot or so. His eyes were dark, taking in the theater in a quick, efficient way that only someone that was experienced would. I'd found that since I'd started being in the presence of my sister's boyfriend's motorcycle club, the Dixie Wardens, that all of those men took in a room much the same way. Most of them had military backgrounds and quite a few were cops. There was just a certain aura about them that fairly screamed, "Cop." They passed my row, both of them looking at me before dismissing me completely, eyes on the scene in front of us.
"Well, the police are here," Luke drawled. "What now?"